Welcome to tonight's Facebook Live event. I've got a fun card for you guys tonight. It is a fancy fold, but I promise it's easy. I'm calling it the Hidden Panel card. You may have seen it before, but I've got it with brand new product to share with you. I'm going to be live on YouTube. I'm looking at the date to make sure I get it right. Thursday, June 14th. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't already follow me on YouTube, please go over there and do so. It's under Lisa's Stamp Studio. Make sure that you click on the bell for the notifications so that you'll know when I'm live. If you're on a desktop version, you'll see the bell. I just recently found out that some of the mobile versions, you don't necessarily have that. All right, what do you guys say that we just jump right into this? I am starting with a brand new in color. This is Lovely Lipstick. I'm going to start with my paper trimmer, and I am actually going to start by scoring this in half, a 4 1/4. Got my light blade, which is for scoring. And then what I'm going to do off of this one side, which will be the front, I am actually going to cut off 2 1/4 inches off this one side. The dark blade is for cutting, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up on my paper trimmer. I absolutely love the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer because it has this ledge. In addition to that, I love the little grid lines to make sure that it's nice and straight all the way down. This is a great feature of this trimmer. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut away 2 1/4 inch from the front. Let me get my bone folder because I'm a big fan of this thing. Give myself a nice crisp edge there. And I'm actually going to stamp my greeting first. So I'm going to use my Memento ink because this is a photopolymer stamp set. It's called Hand Delivered. This is a exclusive host stamp set. Now, I don't want you to get confused by that terminology. When we say host, we mean that you can get it. If you spend $150 or more, yes, that's one order, which is not going to be hard in the brand new catalog, you can choose this or any of the other host exclusive stamp sets. I absolutely fell in love with this because it's different. We have never had anything like this, and I'm having so much fun with it. So I wanted to use it on this hidden panel card for you today. So I've got the words Happy Birthday. I absolutely love the script that's inside of the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that right down here at the bottom. Nice, firm, even pressure. I've got my Stampin' Scrub just off camera over there. I'm going to close this up because I am now going to switch over to using my Big Shot. I've got my regular Big Shot platform, and I've got the Polka Dot Basics embossing folder. Now I know that's going to be a little bit difficult to see, so let me just slip that in there so you guys can see it. Isn't that cute? When can you not use a polka dot? I'm loving that. But I'm going to emboss this, which is why I stamped this first. But I don't want my polka dots to be up. I want them to be recessed. And just a tip for you in case you didn't know this. The Sig-Zix and the Stampin' Up! Logo indicate the front of the embossing folder. So I'm actually going to flip this over, and I'm going to place my cardstock down inside so that I'll get the D embossed on the inside of this card. Just want to make sure that it's fairly straight. All right, so I'm going to lay that here on top of my platform. And I've got another brand new clear mat right over the top, and I'm going to go ahead and crank that through. Undo that for you. And there we go. So we've got those inverted polka dots where the other side is actually raised. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. Remember, if your embossed pattern is going to take up a good portion of your cardstock, which means you don't have a blank area, make sure you do your stamping first. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in a piece of Scrap Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to do my stamping on here. Now this stamp set actually has numerous pieces that creates a whole body. So let me just walk you through this. The balloon bouquet that's here, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but do you see that she's holding it? And then there's lower body images. Now these skirts fit inside of here in case you want a pattern. And just a little tip for you, this little floral thing fits in here as well. There's also one of her holding a sign, holding books, holding a cake. I'm telling you what, this is so much fun. I've just had a ball with this. So I'm going to actually use the balloons today. Now you might think I'm going to start with the lower half of her body, but I'm not going to. And I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. I'm going to take off my Memento cap, and you're going to see that this balloon image, you look, see how big it is? Rather than trying to ink it this way, I am going to put it face up on my stamp table, and I'm going to ink it this way. This is going to ensure that I don't miss a spot. The other thing I want to point out here is, look at this. Do you see her elbow right here? So we're going to want to make sure that that is relatively straight. I'm kind of missing my grid paper right now because I can't do anything straight. And I'm going to stamp that right on top of here. So lots of firm, even pressure to trace that design out. If I had done her lower body first, my balloons would not have fit on here. That's why I worked a little bit backwards. And now I've got the lower portion of her dress. So I'm back to my memento. And then here's the lower portion of her body. And now I'm going to do my best to align the skirt with her waistline. And then I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm grabbing that little skirt insert. This is the one with the stripes. It actually fills in the belt for the skirt as well. Okay, let's see if I can do this far away. I'm going to try. Well, not perfect, but it's pretty close. The next step we're going to do is we're going to do some coloring, but I'm not going to bore you. But I am going to talk you through some of the coloring processes, and I have different samples for you. So I've got several other cards that are already made. Stick with me to the end so you can see those. Obviously, markers are a definite choice. And these two are part of the new in colors. This is that Pineapple Punch, and this is the lovely lipstick that matches the paper that we just used here. I found that this brand new Petal Pink does a really awesome shade of skin tone. So let me do her arm here really quick so you guys can see. The difference between a marker and a Stampin' Blend or watercoloring, and I've got different mediums to show you, is that you're going to be able to see how the coloring looks more professional with an alcohol-based marker like the Stampin' Blends than it is with a regular dye-based marker. So let me just give you an idea. I'm not going to color the whole thing, and I'm a tracer because I could never stay outside the lines. So you're going to see I'm going to kind of color in the balloon. I'm careful not to try to go over some areas because you know what happens, right? You can see the lines. So even if I connect these, you're still going to see the lines. Now let me show you the difference with the Stampin' Blends. Now these are back in stock. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use the brush tip on this one. And I'm actually just going to stroke with this. Because of the alcohol and the way that it dissipates, you're not going to have any of those lines. So give that a second to process, and it's going to be totally different between the marker and the Stampin' Blends. You can use these just like a marker. You don't have to be an artist, and you don't have to shade. So don't let that intimidate you. There are also colors for flesh tone. There's a bronze, and there's also this ivory. Now I'm going to do her legs down here so that you guys can just kind of get an idea of that flesh tone. It's just super easy to use, and you can see that it's really more true to color than this one. It doesn't matter what your coloring medium is. They're all going to work. Now, if you like to watercolor, use your aqua painter or your blender pen, that's going to work really good as well. I have one that I have already finished with markers, and I took my time on this one so that I tried not to repeat an area. But do you see the lines here? I've got a piece of basic black cardstock here that I've cut just a little bit bigger. Remember, if you're just joining me, you're going to find the tutorial for this project over on my blog on Monday, along with pictures and cutting dimensions and all that good stuff. So now we've got that here. This is going to go here. But you can see now we only want to put adhesive on just the one side because we certainly don't want to seal the card. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add a couple rows of adhesive. So I'm working fairly close to the edge here and here, and I'll do one more. I think I can get it to fit. And then I'm going to center this right on the panel of this card, and I'll tell you what, I cheat. Before I stick it down, I stick my hands back here to make sure that I've got this in the right spot, because boy, have I done that. I've gone too far, and then I've got adhesive on the wrong spot. So I'm just going to press that down and secure that in place. Now here's where the hidden panel comes in. You can cut this other piece of Whisper White cardstock the same size as this or the black, but I'm going to give you a couple tips. The one in the tutorials actually cut just like the one I'm demonstrating for you now. This is going to go inside of here. But the reason we call it a hidden panel is because it's not going to show from the front. So let me go ahead and put some adhesive on the back, and I'll give you some tips about how to place this. Remember, you don't want it bigger than this piece right here, otherwise it's going to show. So I kind of hover here, and I look to make sure that it's not going to be visible from the front, and it's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and press that in place. It's just a great way for you just to write your greeting on the inside. And of course, stamp one, and then a little bit of solid baker's twine. I really like this stuff. It's easy to use. It's very, very thin. It's really inexpensive. It goes a long way because there's a bunch of it on the roll. So I'm gonna come up through my card. And to be honest with you too, we don't have a whole lot of new supplies yet. We're just like you, we're waiting on that new catalog. I'm gonna put my finger here because I'm gonna make a knot. The one thing that I have found is if I don't make a knot first, my bow always seems to come undone. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a knot first, and that has eliminated my problems. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a bow and bring this around. Of course, you're all watching me now, so I don't know how it's gonna look, but there we go. We got my bow, and then I've got my paper snips here. So I'm gonna give that a little bit of a haircut because that's a little bit too long for me. I wanna make sure I can get that in the envelope. Okay, really, really simple, but isn't this adorable? I love this fold. Now I promised you I have other mediums to show you. This one is with the markers. This one is using an aqua painter, and this is watercolor paper. This is the one that you're actually gonna have a picture of in the tutorial that was actually watercolor. So keep in mind you can use any color and meaning that you want. And you can see I kind of tipped her a little bit like the bouquet was pulling her. Exact same thing on the rest of the card, and you can see that this panel is a little bit bigger to mimic the black on the front of the card versus this one. I don't know, can you guys see the difference in the size? Just slightly, 1/4 inch. And last but not least, this is one I created. No baker's twine on this one. I just thought I would do it different. But this one is using the Stampin Blends. Now, because we don't have the new blends yet with these new colors, I had to change up the color scheme. So this one is actually the light Calypso Coral, the light Daffodil Delight, and the light Pool Party. But do you see how I used them just as markers? I did absolutely no shading here whatsoever. I'm a big fan of these. Now, I've had a couple people tell me that they really can smell the alcohol. I can't smell it at all. And I have a really sensitive nose. So I guess it just depends on what your sensitivity is. But do you see the difference in the coloring between the blends and the markers, or even the blends and the watercolors? There's no right or wrong way here. It's just a matter of preference. For those of you that don't know, we got a brand new Stampin' Up! Catalog coming out here on Friday. It's right around the corner. I don't know about you, but I'm like squealing, waiting for this thing to really just make its debut. I cannot open this book. It's against the rules until Friday, and I'm not a rule breaker. But you're going to be able to find the hand-delivered stamp set as one of the host reward items, and that's towards the very back of the catalog. And I know one of you is going to ask me about these tabs, and next Thursday I have a quick tip video to show you all the tabs, because of course I can't open the book, and give you more details on that. You're going to find this inexpensive, quick, and easy. If you don't already subscribe to my blog, I would encourage you to do so. I post 5 days a week with different inspiration. I provide awesome online ordering rewards for those of you that are interested in Stampin' Up! Products. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you are interested in purchasing products and you would like a complimentary copy of the new catalog, I would be more than happy to send you one. Just leave me a comment here. Also, don't forget to like and share tonight's video, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to be live there on Thursday, June 14th with a brand new project using brand new products as well. So you're not going to want to miss that. While you're over on my blog, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. In that newsletter, I provide you an additional tutorial that's not shared on my other platforms. So that's just an extra little bonus for you. And it's completely free and it comes right to your inbox. Thanks for being here. You guys have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.